Hey y'all, we are back and we have another grant. And this grant opportunity is for $5,000. $5,000 of free money that you do not have to pay back. And guess what? There is no deadline, but y'all already know a grantor can close a grant at any time that they see fit for any reason. So what do? We apply as soon as possible. Now, the reason that this grant is no deadline is because it is a quarterly opportunity. So that's why it's even more important for you to apply as soon as you see this opportunity. And guess what is the most important thing to this grantor? Impact in community. I don't know how much I can stress this to you all, but if you have an idea, if you've started your business, get in community, because these grantors, that is like the easiest thing to separate you from your competition. Because if your competition is making bank, but they're doing nothing in community, it is highly unlikely that they would walk away with this $5,000 grant opportunity. Now, yes, and yes. Grantors taxable income. I always say 10%. Do not hold me to the fire, y'all. I'm a lawyer. I am not an accountant. But I say that we do not want our business to get tanked because guess what? We got delinquent taxes. Or we don't want to miss the opportunity for future funding because we have delinquent taxes, because that says to the grantor that you do not know how to manage money. So you will never, and I can confidently say never, if you mismanage small dollars, make it to the big dogs. The $100,000 grant, the $500,000 grants. Show them that you know what you're doing with this, and trust and believe you're going to get something bigger on the other side of managing this small grant opportunity. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Ebony, a licensed attorney out of the state of Missouri. And on this channel, we focus on grants, legal tips, and setting the foundation for your business to get you to generational wealth. Because yes, money is good, but we want our money to serve generation after generation after generation. Check out that small business grant playlist. Several of you all will send me emails saying, how do I find grants? Are there grants for this? Are there grants for that? The list will have your answer. That list has no business needed grants. It has no deadline grants. It has industry specific grants, and it has global opportunity. So wherever you are in the world, there is possibly a grant opportunity that you can apply for. And y'all, I am running a special on my books because I hit 1 million views on YouTube, and I want to thank you all. So if you purchase that workbook, which is 130 pages of content, it will definitely help you submit a successful grant application. It has simple answers in there. It has quizzes. It has fill in the blanks. It talks about if you get the grant, if you don't get the grant, applying for the grant, finding grants. And by purchasing that book, you get my first book for free. Now, if you're like, I don't really know, I'm on the fence, that is okay. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can go to the website, check out those 5-star reviews, because you should always be doing due diligence regardless of the person before you hand over your money. And if you're like, I'm tired of waiting on these videos, just give me the information so I can go, come on over to the Patreon. And there I put different grants. I just dropped the links. Now, we don't do no walkthroughs. We don't talk about requirements, any of those things that is discussed on this channel. But in there's different articles, there are cohorts, there are scholarships, there are internships. So if you're like, I can do all of this on my own, I don't need the additional assistance, come to the Patreon. Now, this grant, we've already talked about the fact that it's $5,000. You don't have to pay it back, but the grantor specifically said the money must be used for anything that is going to drive growth and impact community. But also, and they made this in the rules, if the money is not used for its intended purpose, they want their money back. And they are willing to take legal action against anyone who does this. What does that say? Probably this has happened in the past where somebody got the money and did what they wasn't supposed to do. But as I've said in other videos, that yes, this is free money that you don't have to pay back. But if you use it for something that is outside of what you said you were going to use it for, so whatever you put in your application, or you use it outside of what the grantor, because sometimes the grantor tell you what you have to do with that money, then you have to pay the money back. And that takes us right back to this whole cycle of delinquent taxes, not being able to get additional funding, and now your business is going to tank, and now you got a bad reputation in community, and you don't want to have a bad reputation in a grant community, because a lot of grantees start to get grants via word of mouth because they've worked with a different grantor. So just don't be scandalous with these people money. Now, make sure before we continue that you all leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and/or industry, so I can possibly, no promises, find a grant for you in your city, state, and/or industry. But if you're like, I don't want to keep waiting, come on over to the Patreon. Now, they are going to judge you on 4 different things. And as I've said in other videos, if they don't give you an actual percentage, because some grantors will say to you that, okay, we're going to do 75% here, we're going to do, 25% here. If they don't say that, take whatever the criteria is and give them all a weighted percentage. So in this one, I would say give each one 25%. So give the same amount of attention for each of these things that they're going to be judging you on. They are going to judge you on, of course, community impact. Okay, they've already told you that that's one of the things that they're looking for. So clearly that is going to be a judging criteria. They're going to judge you on financial need. Do you actually need the $5,000? Because if your business is banking well over 6 figures every year, they're probably going to give this to somebody that's bringing in $50,000 or somebody that's bringing in $40,000 versus somebody that is continuously bringing in over $100,000. Then they look at your business viability. Is this going to be a sustainable business? How many years have you been in business? And they did say that they prefer someone who has been in business at least a year. Now, y'all know what I say about preferences. That's their preferences. That is not a requirement. Okay, because you can have more impact in a 2-month operating business than somebody who's been operating for 5 years. So if it says preferred, one ear out the other, and we're still applying. And the final thing that they're looking at, y'all, is alignment. And we've talked about this in other videos. Not only must you be aligned with the grantor, so don't make it seem like the grantor hold all the power. You need to make sure that that grantor is aligned with you, because that is going to be something that future grantors look at, because they will ask you sometimes, have you received funding in the past? And, where did you get that funding from? Right? So let's say it's an organization that, that came out to be like shady or sketchy or any of those things, but you got this funding after folks should have known that there was something sketch happening with that organization. That can impact your business. So don't just look at, oh, am I aligned with them? And I can do this, or I can say I want to do this idea in order to, fit into their box. No, make sure they fit into your box as well. And then they also prefer impact when they're talking about community on underrepresented communities. Now, this can be a laundry list of what is considered an underrepresented community. Okay, I want you all, again, you be strategic and you be creative when you're thinking about this. But again, this is a preference. This is not a requirement. So what? One ear out the other, we're still applying. Now, the only requirement is that impact on community. So if you're already operating in community and you're making an impact on community, now you apply for this. But if you ain't done nothing in community, don't apply, because that's not a preference. That is a requirement. Okay, y'all? So make sure you leave that comment. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and/or industry, so I can possibly, no guarantees, because y'all will be like, you said no guarantee, city, state, and/or industry. But of course, come to the Patreon if you're like, okay, you taking too long to get to my city, my state, my industry. Patreon is always an option for you. But with all of that, y'all, let's look at that grant. All right, y'all, this grant opportunity is sponsored by Breva, and I hope that I'm saying that name correctly. And then this is their $5,000 Thrive grant. And as I said, this is a quarterly opportunity, and you always want to scroll their website. So Here are individuals that they've funded in the past. Listen to these videos, okay, y'all, because that is going to give you an idea if you too could possibly walk away with this $5,000. And then they talk about the eligibility requirements, and we've already talked about required versus preference. Now, this is a requirement. Your business must have demonstrated impact on its community, creating new jobs, innovating new products, or making products and services more accessible. The rest of this stuff, prefer a business operating for at least 1 year. Annual revenue of $35,000, preferred. Okay, we strongly prefer a business directly impacting underrepresented communities. So remember, again, if we hear the word prefer, one ear out the other, we don't care. We're gonna apply because, again, 2 months in business can have a stronger impact than somebody that's been in business for 5 years. Now, you will not see the application because we are in the first quarter and they've already closed that one, but that next quarter is going to open soon, and you want to make sure you don't miss that opportunity. Always read the official rules. That's where I found a lot of the information that we have talked about. Here's the timeline so you can see the various open dates for the grant applications in case you miss a deadline. Just come in on the next one. And then peruse our website to see all things that will be able to assist you with your business. But make sure you are first in line to apply for this $5,000 grant opportunity. And if they have an email list, make sure you sign up for that. So then you will get pinged if they have other grant opportunities and when this one opens. And once this one opens, I know all of you all are going to apply. And if they ask you, where did you hear about us? Money Time with Ebony Dion ESQ, my YouTube channel, and I will be forever grateful for that support. And then you're going to come back here, leave me that comment and tell me that you won one of these quarterly grants for $5,000. And guess what? That means that you have submitted a successful grant application, which is a goal of this channel. But of course, that then gets you closer to generational wealth, which is a goal of this channel. But you know, y'all need to check out that ebook, check out the workbook, check out the Patreon, check out that small business grant playlist, y'all, because you keep asking me about these grants, and there are so many no deadline grants, so many no business needed grants, so many global opportunities. And I want us to capture all of this money that is sitting on the table. So make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to get yourself closer to generational wealth and to make sure that you are submitting the strongest grant application to knock out your competitors. But of course, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me virtually. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, and wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are having a beautiful day, and I will see you all next time.